and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome to the match day that's going to decide Barca's European fate. Because by the end of Wednesday night, we're either going to be still playing in the Champions League, or we're going to face the sickening drop into the Europa League. This truly is it, as Barca travel to Bayern Munich in need of a performance, and we are hoping to snatch a result that honestly no one is expecting. But what's also important to remember, and what we are going to be discussing in today's video, is that our progression is not solely linked to our result against Bayern. As Dinamo will be taking on Benfica, there is lots to discuss on a big night. Let's do it. Because if we first of all focus on the job in hand against Bayern, of course the trip there to Munich is never going to be an easy one. You could even describe it there as a daunting visit to Bayern. And I know, guys, I absolutely know the expectations are low. I know the mood is low. I know the feeling is low. You can look at the results right here of the poll, as many Barca fans don't only expect Bayern to beat us here, but actually it's expected that Bayern win by a significant margin. We are up against it. But for all of those who may be ahead of this game are saying, you know what, what's the point? We just as well give up now. It's never going to happen. It's completely impossible. We're done for. We're just going to end up in the Europa League. What I would say, though, is to that, look back to match day one. Because in that game against Bayern there, Ronald Koeman, you look at his team selection in that game, you look at the way that he went about that fixture against Bayern, he had given up before the game even started. He went into that game accepting defeat. Now, after that game, we all absolutely bombarded Ronald Koeman and said, you know what? That's not the right attitude. That is not the way that you conduct yourselves as a Barcelona coach. And we here, we can't have that same mindset. We have to find a way here of saying, you know what? This time around, let's just fight for it. Let's go there. Let's give everything. We don't expect to win. I don't expect any given scoreline on the side of Barcelona. But what I do demand is just some fight, just some hunger, and actually going away to Bayern and say, you know what? We're going to give you a game. We are going to stand with you toe to toe, and we're going to make you earn something in this stadium. Because at the Camp Nou, we let them walk all over us, and they didn't even get out of third gear. We've got to make them play. And we have to try in this game and provide what would be a big upset, and what is unlikely. But come on, let's go there and fight. And of course, the question would be, looking there from match day one, which is now 3 months ago, looking here to the final match day in Group E, will facing Bayern this time around be any different for Barca? Well, right now, as you'd expect, Bayern remain a team that is very much in form. They are top of the Bundesliga, which of course is something that you'd expect there. And of course, they've been buoyed by what was a crucial win at the weekend. It was a crucial but controversial win against their big rivals, Borussia Dortmund. But as you can see here from the stats domestically, we actually fare quite similarly, interestingly, to Bayern defensively. They have conceded a fair amount of goals this season, but what is absolutely clear, as you can also see, is that we are up against a team who scored nearly double the amount of goals that we have, with Bayern, of course, set to be led by the fearsome Robert Lewandowski. But hey, coming into this game, as good as Bayern definitely are, I'm aware of how good they are, and they are a fantastically well-oiled team, as we all know, but there's also no denying they're not invincible. We're not facing a team here this season, for example, who haven't lost a game, who haven't had a slip-up. They've conceded, like I say, a decent amount of goals. They've had their problems. They've had their off nights this season. It is not completely impossible to beat Bayern Munich, as Augsburg, Gladbach, Eintracht Frankfurt have all found out this season. In football, you can't say something can't be done. There is also the fact that heading into this game on Wednesday, there is going to be no fans inside the stadium, despite Bayern playing at home, because the game at the Allianz Arena will be played behind closed doors due to COVID, and whilst you would imagine that does take away some of the home advantage that Bayern would have had, we are all well aware, and I don't need to remind you, that our 8-2 defeat against Bayern did come behind closed doors. But then, of course, comes the question of rotations and the approach that Julian Nagelsmann is going to take coming into this game, given, of course, let's not forget, that Bayern They're already qualified. They have done everything they needed to do in this group. They have nothing to play for here except pride. So, will Nagelsmann choose to rotate some of his important players? Now, according to what's been said this morning in the press conference from Nagelsmann, he promised there that he would play the best available team that he had to him. I wouldn't expect any favours from Bayern, and I wouldn't expect any drop-off, as they are going to attempt to finish, of course, the group stage with 6 out of 6 wins and a 100% record. And especially as well, when you look at the words of somebody like Thomas Müller, it almost seems to me like at Bayern, they hold the fact that Messi won the Ballon d'Or over Lewandowski against us. They hold it against Barça, a player there who no longer plays for us, an award that we did not give out ourselves, but somehow Lewandowski not winning it, that's actually Barca's fault. That's an interesting leap there from Bayern. But actually, when I look at their schedule, I would actually say to Nagelsmann, is this not a good opportunity to rotate? Because as you can see right here, Bayern play us on Wednesday night. Then they got an important game early on Saturday afternoon against Mainz, a team that last season Bayern did lose against. So that's something there to bear in mind. They also face another 2 games next week in quick succession. So if anything, this is Bayern's best chance to rotate. And Nagelsmann, in his press conference today, has confirmed that Joshua Kimmich, also Leon Goretzka, Gnabry and Sabitzer are all ruled out of this game, with Lucas Hernandez back in full training, but still unlikely to start in this one. So Bayern may indeed have a few absentees, but it's not all about them, of course. What we do also have to talk about is the fact that, yes, we are coming into this game as the underdogs, without much faith, of course, but we still have a team here, we still have players within that squad who can hurt Bayern, despite the fact there that we have not been able to recover Ansu Fati in time for this fixture, despite his real hunger to try and play in this game. There is also going to be no Abde in the squad, as you can see, because he is not registered in the UEFA Champions League. But it is being reported right now that in terms of the team selection, in terms of the shape coming into this game from Xavi, what he's going to do is play on the offensive. Now, that is not something that we've seen from a Barca coach in a big game like this in a long, long time. And it just seems to me right here, given the situation, given the fact that we kind of have to win, we've got to go for it, why not? Why not here come to Bayern and say, you know what, if we're going to go down, we'll go down on our own terms. We will go down fighting, come here, take it to them, try and put them under pressure, and who knows where we end up. Because this right here is the possible lineup of Xavi Hernandez against Bayern on Wednesday. He's almost certainly they're going to go with 3 at the back. That final centre-back, though, it's either going to be Eric Garcia or it's going to be Clement Longley. We're not quite sure right now which way Xavi is going to go in midfield. Gavi will be okay to play in this game, despite the fact that he came off on the weekend. Nico Gonzalez, De Jong and Busquets making up that midfield. But as you can see, the really big inclusion here is Dembélé, who is going to start this game. I think that's a massive boost for us. I really, really do in a game like this, where there is going to be space. The game is going to be end-to-end, I'm sure, with plenty of gaps in behind. He is going to be absolutely crucial. And I would actually look there at both ends, because you've got Dembélé, who's going to be in charge of exploiting the space in behind Bayern. And at the other end, you've got Araujo, who is going to need to be at his absolute best level to cover in behind, to stop the likes of Lewandowski, to stop the likes there of Thomas Müller, Kingsley Coman, Sane if he plays. There's a lot to deal with here, and there's a lot to do. But this Barca team have got to find it within themselves, even with our limitations, to cause Bayern problems. But, like I do say, even though we want to go to Bayern and we would like to take everything in our own hands, we would like to seal the job all on our own, because as you can see, if we win, it's done. If we go to Bayern and beat them in their own stadium, Barca are going to be qualified for the knockout stages of the Champions League. But we do have to admit, we may not need to. Because if Dynamo Kiev there can take points off Benfica, then we're through anyway. So if Benfica fail to beat Dynamo Kiev at home, Barca, regardless of how we get on against Bayern, we could lose 8-0. And if Benfica don't win, it effectively will not matter. But if Benfica do indeed beat Dynamo, Barca would need to win against Bayern, because a draw would not be enough. If Benfica win, we need to match that result. And one interesting piece of news to bring you from that Benfica-Dynamo Kiev game is that the referee for that match is Deniz Aytekin, who just happens to be there, the same referee that took charge of Barca's famous comeback against PSG in 2017. You may remember that one, 6-1 on the night at the Camp Nou. That was a famous comeback on a night that looked impossible. Aytekin actually gave us 2 penalties on that occasion, and he will take charge of Benfica in their crucial game against Dynamo Kiev. And honestly, guys, when all's said and done, when everything has been discussed, when we've laid it all on the line, I will admit this has been tough for me because coming into this game, I want to believe that we can do it. I want to hope here that we can come into this game and show some fight. I understand why people are saying, you know what, Barca have got no chance, because honestly, in the past, have we proved that we can come here and get something? No, we haven't. Can we do that? Yes, we can. It is possible. It is not impossible that Barca could come here and do something. It's also not impossible that Benfica could fail to beat Dynamo. So I really do think that on Wednesday, it is all to play for. I wouldn't say one way or the other. I would love to see us get through somehow to provide a miracle here in the Champions League. But all we can do now is hope and wait and see what these players have in store for us. I've got faith in Xavi, and I really do hope here that we can celebrate something special. It is not over until it's over, and these players have got to go into this game with that exact attitude. So please, guys, leave all of your predictions in the comments down below. Do you believe, first and foremost, that Barca could get something against Bayern? Do you believe here we are capable of a performance at the Allianz Arena? And of course, number 2, do you believe that it's possible that Benfica slip up against Dynamo Kiev? Let me know all of that down below. And of course, I will be seeing you very, very soon when it's all resolved on Wednesday. Thank you indeed for watching, and thank you for supporting. All we can do is hope, and until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.